Everybody, Matt here. Now, this weekend I got to go see a movie in theaters, In the Heights. I wasn't looking forward to this movie. I think the marketing, it was horrible. I think they really only put out one trailer for this movie, and that was last year, when this movie was originally supposed to come out in in the summer of last year. But once again, because of COVID, they pushed it back a whole year. And this is also on HBO Max. But I personally recommend, already telling you this right now, go see this in the movie theater. I think in the first week it was showing in IMAX. I saw it the second weekend, waiting for word of mouth. And it has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the critics that I follow all loved it. So I was like, you know what, I guess I'll go see this movie. I like musicals. People don't realize that sometimes. Now, they're not my favorite movies. They're not dramas or action or horror or sci-fi, stuff like that. But, movies like The Sound of Music, grew up watching that. The Wizard of Oz, you say that's a musical too. Back in the day, when film really started getting going, musicals were one of the main movies that were being made. Because of the cinematography, with the way you can move the camera around, get those wide shots, get a lot of extras in there, like Singing in the Rain. Like I said, The Sound of Music is one. Then you got movies like The Greatest Showman recently. My favorite musical now is La La Land. Came out a few years ago with Emma Stone. Ryan Gosling is a great one. Even The Phantom of the Opera, directed by Joel Schumacher, with Emma Rossum and Gerard Butler. I actually really like that one too. So, let's get into it. First of all, Lin-Manuel Miranda, most of you know him for Hamilton. He was trying to get this movie. He wrote this script way before Hamilton. He wrote this before Hamilton. And he has been trying to get this movie made since 2008. It went from one studio, then to another studio. Then finally landed at Warner Brothers. And so it's been a long 2008 when I was either, depending on when they were starting to work on this, I was either finishing my senior year of high school or starting my freshman year of college. That's how long this movie's been trying to get made, if you can put that in perspective. So, let's get into the positives. One thing I can say, what I like about movies, a lot of times, even though we all like to go see our favorite movies, or a movie that we know the actor or the actress starring in the movie, but sometimes that can be a detriment. Because sometimes, especially if the actor doesn't really become that character, where you don't see that actor, you just see the character, and that doesn't always happen. So it's always nice to go into a movie where you can look at the main cast and go, I have no idea who you are. I have never seen you before in a movie or on TV. And then you can really embrace them and see them as that character. Remind me back even Robert Downey Jr. before Iron Man. I didn't know Robert Downey Jr. But then when he was Iron Man, he became Iron Man to me. Hugh Jackman. No one knew who Hugh Jackman was until X-Men, where he played Wolverine. Then we see him as Wolverine. Now, luckily, someone like a Hugh Jackman is such a great actor. I can see him in other roles. I've seen him play great performances in other movies. But once again, when you see him as that character, you don't see him, haven't seen him in anything prior, that goes a long way. So let's get into it. The main three, Anthony Ramos is our main character. He plays Usnavi. There's a reason why his name is that. He's the main character. You know, he's trying to get out of the city that he's in, go back to his homeland, and start up a bar right on the water, kind of like in the movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise. And I've never seen Anthony Ramos in anything, and I heard his name a few months ago when they said he was going to be starring in the new Transformers movie coming up. And I was like, okay, I've never seen him before. I don't know if he's any good or not. After seeing him in The Heights, I'm looking forward to Transformers now. This actor, he can do the drama, he can sing, he can dance, he can be funny, he can be a little nerdy, mumbling type of way. He can be romantic. He showed every range, other than maybe horror, in this movie. And he did an amazing job in the role. Next is Melissa Barrera. This is another actress. Never heard of her before. Never seen her before. Apparently she's only done one show on Starz called Vita. Started in 2018, lasted until 2020. I haven't watched it. But I remember last summer when they were beginning casting the new Scream movie, that they cast her as one of the main roles in the film, at least one of the new characters. And I said, okay, that's interesting, never seen her before. I can truly tell you now, after seeing In the Heights, I am really looking forward to her, Melissa Barrera, in Scream. Not to mention that, also knowing that her character is playing the older sister to Jenny Ortega, who we talked about playing the new Wednesday Addams. She was also in You Season 2. These two as sisters now, I'm 100% looking forward to. Their dynamic is going to be very interesting. But Barrera, she can sing, she can dance. The one thing I noticed in this movie, she has more of the emotional, arc in the movie, other than some people. And she really brings that forward. She also can be romantic. She's very, good looking. Her chemistry with Anthony Ramos was very good. So you have to have a romantic lead in Scream. That will work. And then this is an actress between this movie and Scream to really bump her up, put her in the new stratosphere of casting her in almost anything and everything that comes along. So, another highlight. Another actress, never heard of, Leslie Grace. Her character comes home from college, from Stanford. Nobody knows why she's home. We learn later on why she left. And she also has an emotional arc in the movie. Her father, played by Jimmy Smits, is trying to pay for college. But, he's losing his business. So he's trying to support his daughter. And Leslie Grace, once again, can sing. She has a great chemistry with Corey Hawkins, her boyfriend. And she just gives another amazing performance. Once again, when you're going into a musical, cinematography, shot composition should be like on the A level. Cinematography is great here. I love how John M. Chu, the director, shows in every dance sequence. He does it differently. They never feel repeated. From the opening number to a number later on at a pool, to a number with Leslie Grace and Corey Hawkins on top on a balcony of an apartment complex. It's creative. The shooting is beautiful. Cinematography looks great. This movie has a lot of humor. Anthony Ramos is assistant at work with friend is very funny. The movie has a lot of themes about following your dreams, no matter what they are, and I think that works very well. Even for a 2-hour and 23-minute movie, I thought the movie moved very well for its pacing. You know, this isn't like The Sound of Music, which is like 3 hours, but it's also not like just a 2-hour movie. But I thought it worked. There's also a lot of memorable supporting characters. I think Jimmy Smits, the father, this Nana or grandma lady, who's kind of like the grandma to the city. The actress actually was the only one that played in the Broadway play, and she came over and was the only one that ended up being in the film also. I mentioned like Anthony Ramos' friend. He's memorable. There's these 3 ladies that work in a nail salon, hair salon, and they're very memorable when they're on screen. So, and like the John M. Chu, people might remember him from, he directed Crazy Rich Asians a few years ago with Henry Golding. I thought that was great. He did the Now You See Me movies. Not a fan of those, but you know, he's moved around. Romantic comedy to mystery thriller to now a musical. And overall, those are my positives. My very few negatives with this movie are the only actor that I recognize besides Jimmy Smits was Corey Hawkins. Some of you might remember him from the movie Straight Outta Compton. He also was the headliner of that rebooted 24 series a few years ago. But that only lasted 1 season. He was good. He can sing, he can dance. He had great chemistry with Leslie Grace. The only problem is his character is the only one that doesn't get a full arc. Kind of an arc, but I feel like he got lost between the main 3. So that, and I feel like there were moments, plot points or character points, or subplots that I could see coming a mile away. There was definitely like 2 or 3 that are like, yeah, that's gonna happen. Oh yeah, that's gonna happen to him. Oh yeah, that's gonna happen to her. And sure enough. So I didn't mind that. There were other things that were surprising. But, going into a movie and kind of seeing certain points before they happen, like way in advance, it was kind of like, oh, okay. I knew that about 30 minutes ago. Anyway, that's really about it. I do recommend this movie. If you like musicals, you can definitely see it. If you want a movie that's fun, great song choices, in a movie you want to sit with friends and watch. Like I said, these actors you're going to want to get acquainted with already, because I'm telling you, Anthony Ramos is going to be already starring in the new Transformers. Melissa Barrera, she's going to be in the new Scream movie. And I've already met Leslie Grace. We're going to find out sooner or later she's going to be starring in something huge. Yeah, I would give this movie a 4.9 out of 5. Highly recommend. Yeah, you can watch it on HBO Max. But I think this is definitely a theater-going experience. Like the daily for the dance musical numbers. You want to see those on the big screen. And that's it. Go see it. Matt the Matt here. Go online, YouTube, at Matt Productions. Like and subscribe. And that's all for today.